The world is a very scary place at the moment, and in uncertain times we have to reevaluate how we live our lives. Now, even good things come to an end, and UK Here We Grow is not immune to this. I'm Tony O'Neill and this is UK Here We Grow. On this channel we deal with all things gardening. If you want that perfect garden to relax in, or just want to grow your own nutrient dense foods, then start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon. Then click all to be notified each time I release new content just like this. With COVID-19 grasping the world around its throat, we've had to change our very way of life. Some countries have been on lockdown for weeks, including mine. It really makes you evaluate what you're spending your time on in life. And I've been re-evaluating too, and I've decided it's time to end UK Here We Grow. Before I talk more on that though, I'd like to add a little bit of positivity, because times are tough at the moment, and I thought it would be nice to take you guys for a walk down memory lane on how the channel started and how it came to have 87,000 amazing people who either subscribe to the channel or to me. And yes, you're one of those beautiful people. In order to explain where the channel came from, I need to take you right back to 1982. Now, 1982 I'll remember for three things. And those three things were important to me moving forward in my life. So now you're going to see part of my life that you've never seen before. The first of these was in 1982. It was the first time I ever saw the programme Wurzel Gummidge. I was fascinated about a scarecrow that could just come to life and wander around the town. So much so that in 2013 I built my very own. And 7 years later, he's still with me right now. And the second of these was Knight Rider aired on British television for the first time. And as a 7-year-old boy, I was amazed at a talking car that was invincible, was able to drive itself. It really stuck with me. So much so that I even imported my own Trans Am from Tampa Bay, Florida docks, and I built my very own Knight Rider replica. You may be thinking to yourself, well, that's really interesting, but what's that got to do with a gardening channel? Well, that's where the third thing comes in. In 1982, it was the very first time I was introduced to gardening. It was the first time that I gardened with my grandfather on his garden, and I remember him shouting and barking orders to me from his shed, saying to go and sow some seed or pull some carrots. And I remember a time where I used to stab all my fingers on the spiky thorns of the gooseberry bushes when I was trying to harvest his gooseberries for him. As a 7-year-old boy, those early years really imprinted on me, and gardening stuck with me through life. After my grandfather died, I then continued gardening with my father while he was able to do so. And then later on in my life, I went to college and learned all the proper gardening techniques. And I put everything that I had learned before I went to college into practice over those years. In 2007, I was gardening in a little terrace backyard, which was approximately 50 feet by 15 feet. And it had mainly grass and a shed, so there wasn't a lot of room to garden in the first place. But I always kept records and video of the garden and what I was doing, so that I could see what worked well and what didn't work well, and then I could adapt later on in future years. And this allowed me to change my tactics and make sure that I had better crops in years to come. And as that happened, I started to run out of memory for recording my videos. So I started to look for alternatives. And that's when I came across YouTube. YouTube was a fledgling company back then, just 2 years old, a toddler if you like. And I thought, what a fantastic way to save my video footage, and it's free. and I was going to take advantage of this free storage. On February 23rd, 2007, I created my YouTube channel and I started uploading videos right away. Back then, YouTube had a really rudimentary search engine and it was plagued with call girls manipulating the SEO so nothing else could get found. And I was really glad that Google bought this and turned it into what it is today. I didn't mind back then because I was only using YouTube for storage and I didn't even think about subscribers. But over the coming years, I started to notice a few subscribers subscribing to the channel. Tina and I met in 2008 after we both had failed marriages. And in 2009, our first daughter came along. Now, a lot of you have already met Caitlin. She's been in lots of our videos here. It was then that I decided I wanted to ensure the quality of the food my daughter was eating, and I put my name on the council waiting list, and in 2011 I was given my very first allotment plot. For those of you who do not know what an allotment is, it's just a community garden that's broken up into plots of land, and you can rent a plot of land to grow on. And it came about in World War II when the UK was starving, so the Dig for Victory campaign was launched and land was set aside for people like myself without a large garden to grow in, was able to come and rent for a nominal fee some land and grow their own food. In 2011, I deleted all the content off the channel and I was given the opportunity to rename it. So I called it Tony's Allotment. I know, original, right? Anyway, I deleted all of that content and then I continued to upload new content because I thought I was better than I was before. By now I had 2 children with Tina, Caitlin and Wayne. And they've both grown up in the garden, and it's fantastic to look back and see the videos of them coming and helping in the garden and passing Dad the tools and seeds, or wandering around with their own little plastic wheelbarrows. And although I was still uploading videos and they were so awesomely terrible back then, I was still gaining subscribers to the channel. Even in 2011, I was still one of the first people to upload a gardening video to YouTube. Never mind the 4 years I'd been doing it before. And I know that some of you are still here from right back then. Over time, the channel started to grow and I got more subscribers. And then I was in a position and decided to start helping others. So I created some instructional videos to help you guys out. On August 29th, 2015, Tony's Allotment became UK Here We Grow, and I set my plan for the future into motion. At that time, the channel still only had 2,870 subscribers, but I was determined to pass on the knowledge I'd learned from past years. So I set out on a path to producing a YouTube channel that answered your burning gardening questions. I'm now 45 and I've been gardening since I was 7. It amazes me all the tips, tricks and knowledge that you pick up along the way. After all, 38 years of gardening is a huge amount of time and more than most people's careers. One thing I found out, which any creator will tell you, is every day is a learning day. Creating a YouTube channel is hard. There's so many skills you have to learn, like editing, SEO, copywriting, Photoshop, just to name a few. But I have to say that over the past 9 years since I started Tony's Allotment, I've loved every single second of it. It's been a crazy amount of work, but I want to thank each and every single one of you for supporting me and the channel over the last 9 years. And I also want to thank my beautiful fiancée Tina for putting up with me when I've had to spend loads of hours learning SEO or learning how to edit, or cancelling trips out when I've had to produce a video to put out on the channel because I've had to stick to a time schedule. Tina has been my rock when there's been hard times, and trust me, when you have any channel, there are always hard times. I also want to thank my beautiful kids for co-presenting with me, because I know that you've loved those videos. It's a real shame that YouTube and the FTA had to crack down on children in videos, but to be honest with you, that's probably better for their safety. And I also want to thank all the people who have adminned all the social media groups over the years. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible. And some of you are still here to this very day, making sure that the groups are fantastic, safe places for people to learn all about gardening. I hope you've really enjoyed this trip down memory lane and seeing the timeline of UK Year We Grow. And I thought that maybe some of you would have been interested in where I came from also. As I've stated in the beginning of this video, all good things come to an end, and this is the end of UK Year We Grow. But not the end of this channel. After re-evaluating during this crisis, I've decided it's even more important now more than ever to teach people on how to grow their own foods, because even now the shelves in the shops are totally empty. And there are a lot of people who are still scared. Therefore, this channel will continue with a new mission and a new name. I'm Tony O'Neill, and this is now Simplified Gardening, where I teach you how to garden in a simpler way. Remember folks, you reap what you sow. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.